In the serene hills of Ogugu, a district in Olamaboro local government area of Kogi State, the people lived by the unshakable principles handed down by their ancestors. Among these was the sacred law of Ibegwu, a revered ancestral practice that forbade certain actions deemed as abominable to the community. Chief among these taboos was the shedding of innocent blood, including the deliberate termination of a pregnancy. To the Ogugu people, Ibegwu was not just a tradition. It was the soul of their existence, with its curses swift and unrelenting on those who dared to defy it. Among the villagers was a young man named Ocholi, known for his charm and wit. Ocholi was the pride of his family, a hard worker, loved by all, and a symbol of hope for the future. He had recently fallen deeply in love with Ojona, a beautiful maiden from a neighboring village. Their love was like a flame, bright and fierce, but one that would ultimately consume them. Ojone's beauty was matched only by her ambition. She often spoke of moving to the city to escape the simplicity of village life. Ocholi, enamored by her dreams, promised to stand by her side and provide her with whatever she needed. They were inseparable, and many in the village whispered about their love, some with admiration, others with envy. One fateful evening, Ojone approached Ocholi with a grave expression. She confessed that she was pregnant. The news struck Ocholi like a lightning bolt. He was not ready for fatherhood. He had dreams of finishing his apprenticeship and becoming a carpenter. Ojone, too, was panicked. A child would derail her plans of escaping to the city. "Ojone," Ocholi whispered, his voice trembling, "what do we do now?" Ojone looked at him, her eyes filled with tears. "There's a woman in the next village," she said hesitantly, "who can help us get rid of it." Ocholi froze. He knew what she meant, and his heart sank. The thought of an abortion was not only morally troubling, but also a direct violation of the Ibegwu tradition. In Ogugu, tradition demands that a man must not consent to an abortion, let alone support such a move with finances. It is expected that when a woman informs her partner of an intention to go for an abortion, he must immediately rebuke her and distance himself. Not even a single kobo from him should reach her again. But how could you turn your back on someone you love? A pregnancy resulting from a mistake made by you both? This is the tight corner young Ogugu men often find themselves in. Ocholi had grown up hearing tales of the terrible fates that befell those who flouted this sacred Ibegwu law. Yet his love for Ojone clouded his judgment. He couldn't bear to see her dreams shattered or their relationship strained. "I'll get the money," Ocholi said finally, his voice barely audible. The next day, Ocholi sold his prized bicycle, his only means of transportation, to gather the funds Ojone needed. He handed her the money with trembling hands, warning her to be discreet. "Be careful, Ojone," he said. "No one must know about this." Ojone nodded, kissed him on the cheek, and left for the neighboring village. Days turned into weeks, and while Ojone seemed to move on, Ocholi began to feel the weight of his decision. He started having nightmares, visions of angry ancestors, shadowy figures whispering curses, and the cries of a baby echoing in the night. One evening, Ocholi fell gravely ill. His parents, alarmed by his sudden ailment, called on the village herbalist. The herbalist, after performing rituals, declared that Ocholi was under the curse of Ibegwu. "He has violated the sacred law," the herbalist said, his voice grave. "Only a full confession can appease the ancestors, but even then, the punishment may still take its toll." Ocholi's father, a staunch believer in the old ways, demanded to know the truth. With tears streaming down his face, Ocholi confessed to giving Ojone money for the abortion. The room fell silent, save for the wails of his mother. The villagers who had gathered shook their heads in sorrow. They knew that the curse of Ibegwu was merciless. Despite sacrifices and rituals to appease the ancestors, Ocholi's condition worsened. His once vibrant body grew frail, his voice a faint whisper. On the 7th day of his illness, he called for Ojone. She came, guilt etched on her face, and held his hand as he struggled to speak. "I did it for you," he whispered, "but I betrayed my ancestors." Ojone wept, her tears falling onto his fevered brow. "I'm sorry, Ocholi," she cried. "I never meant for this to happen." With a final breath, Ocholi uttered, "Tell our people, never to forget Ibegwu." The village mourned Ocholi's death, and his story became a cautionary tale told to every young generation in Ogugu. Ojone, consumed by guilt, left the village and was never seen again. The elders inscribed Ocholi's name in the annals of history, a somber reminder of the unyielding power of Ibegwu and the price of forsaking tradition. To this day, the people of Ogugu hold tightly to the tenets of Ibegwu, their ancestors' watchful eyes ever present in their lives. Ocholi's story serves as both a warning and a testament to the enduring bond between tradition and the lives of those it governs.